Hi everyone, David MacDonald here from Vitality Fitness Calgary. You're tuning into Q&A Thursday, where you ask us your questions and we give you answers. This week we got a great question from Justin, and Justin asked, how do I eat healthy when I'm traveling or when I'm on the road? So that's a great question, Justin. I'm going to assume this is in the context of work travel. If you're on vacation and you're going out of town and you're traveling, the answer to your question would be a little bit different, but I'm going to assume this is in the context of work travel. So when you're on the road and you're on the road for work, you want to follow your normal routine that you would have at home and follow it as best as you can when you're on the road. That might mean that you're not eating the same foods and you're eating, the same types of meals, but you want to model that as closely as possible. So if you're going to be eating out while you travel, which the likelihood of that is very high, you want to be making choices and you want to be eating meals that have as few ingredients as possible. You want to be going with things that don't have a lot of sauce. You want to be eating clean, natural, whole foods. Ideally, if you have the option, you want to be able to actually go and purchase foods at the local grocery store, and if you can, cook at home. So if your apartment that you're staying at or the hotel you're staying at has a little kitchenette, then that would be the most ideal scenario, that you go and shop at the local grocery store, bring food home, cook, and have your meals at home. Now, for most of you, that probably won't be an option. You're probably going to be staying at a hotel that doesn't have a kitchenette. You're probably going to have to eat out a lot for all of your meals. So there are some tips and strategies that you can use to ensure that you're eating healthy. So when you go for breakfast, the healthiest options you can do for breakfast are ordering sides. So maybe doing 2 eggs and toast, maybe doing 2 eggs with some oatmeal, maybe doing some toast and some turkey sausage. So if you order little side items like that, that can cut down the amount of calories that you're eating, and that can ensure that you're eating clean, healthy, natural foods. Another option is you could go with a yogurt parfait. You could go with 2 eggs or 3 eggs and a fruit bowl or a fruit cup. So these are some great breakfast options. Most restaurants are going to have them. The majority of restaurants are at least going to have eggs and a side of whole wheat or whole grain toast. So that would be your breakfast option. For lunch, you want to be sticking with salads. So you want to be getting big whole meal salads that have lots of protein, that have things like avocado, nuts, seeds, even a little bit of cheese in your salad's okay. If you're going to be going with dressing, I would recommend either dressing on the side, so you can control how much dressing you're putting on the food, or going with a side of olive oil. So getting the waiter or waitress to hold the dressing and to bring you a side of olive oil instead that you can put on your salad. So that's what I would do that's what I would go with lunch. For dinner, you'd want to go with something similar to lunch. With dinner, you're probably going to have more options. You could do a big, nice wholemeal salad with lots of protein, meat, or nuts, seeds, a little bit of cheese, maybe a little bit of egg thrown in there, and a side of olive oil for dressing. The other thing you could do is you could go with some meat and extra vegetables. So there's a lot of restaurants nowadays where if you order, say, a chicken dinner or a steak or some pork, you have the option to substitute different sides. So you could have, double vegetables instead of pasta and vegetables, or rice and vegetables. You could get 2 orders of vegetables instead. If you are going to be going with some carbohydrates at dinner, the best ones that I would recommend would be baked potato. So baked potato with a little bit of butter and a little bit of pepper. You could also go with some brown rice if that's an option. You could also go with some quinoa if that's an option. Lentils would be another option if they offer that. And you can also go with maybe something like a soup. You go maybe with some soup, some vegetables, and some protein. Most soups at most restaurants are pretty healthy. You are going to get the odd soup that is cream-based, so you want to check in with your waiter or waitress to make sure that the soup you're ordering is a vegetable-based broth or a chicken or beef-based broth, not a cream-based broth. So that's what you'd want to do for dinner. So there's lots of options you can incorporate. The big thing is you have to get creative. You got to substitute olive oil in for your dressing. You might have to order extra veggies. You might have to inquire if they have brown rice or quinoa, if they have a baked potato. The things I would not recommend, staying away from the white breads, staying away from white pastas at dinner, white rice, staying away from that. Mashed potatoes is another big one I'd stay away from because they put a lot of oil and butter and seasonings and things like that, which really increases the calories. Okay, the reason I don't recommend the white rice or white pasta is because it doesn't fill you up. You're not getting those fiber benefits, so you're not going to feel satiated and full after your dinner. Okay, so that's what I'd recommend for dinner options when you're on the road and you're traveling for work. In terms of snacks, the things that I would recommend, nuts. Most airports do have packages of almonds, cashews, things like that. A lot of airports nowadays have fresh fruit on hand, so you can get apples, bananas. You could have that in conjunction with your nuts for a nice healthy snack. The other thing you can do is you can get a fruit nut bar. So there's bars at different stores at airports that are actually quite healthy for you. So one bar that comes to mind is a Kind bar. These are very well known in the health and fitness industry. Very low in sugar, very low in calories. It's basically a dried fruit nut bar, and it's a great on-the-go option to eat as a snack, especially if you're at an airport. Most stores at an airport will have Kind bars. The other benefit of a Kind bar is you can usually find them at a convenience store or at a gas station because they do carry them there. So that's a great snack option when you're on the road and you're traveling, whether you're at an airport or you're driving or anything like that. The other thing to keep in mind is if you're going to be having a snack late at night, I would recommend fresh fruit. So maybe going with some berries, apples, bananas, things like that. Things you can get pretty much anywhere. You can get at a local corner store, at a grocery store, at a gas station. Most of them are going to be able to sell you some kind of fresh fruit. So those are some travel tips when you're on the road. The other thing I'll end off with is pre-planning can also help as well. So taking snacks from home is also another idea that you can incorporate. You can take some bulk nuts, you can take some fresh or dried fruit with you, you can take some healthy protein or fruit nut bars with you. So that's also an option as well. You don't have to just worry about eating on location wherever you're traveling to. You can also take things from home and you can pack a cooler, and that can serve you as well. So hopefully that answered your question, Justin, and I hope this helps every one of you guys that are watching this from home when you're on the road and when you're traveling, and that you can incorporate these tips, and it's a great way to stay on track, stay on your diet, and stay consistent. That's Q&A Thursday. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.